And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. It's been intense already. 4 hours of non-stop StarCraft Evolution. By the way, we just wrapped up with Kung Fu Cup number 11 with some StarCraft Evolution action, and now it continues as we're jumping into a best of 9 show match. The Enki Epic Series number 3, a show match between SHIN and Classic. Again, a big shout out to Enki. Enki el hermoso, papi el hermoso. Enki, of course, he's a Spanish caster. He's a Spanish caster, Spanish content creator. He actually recently joined the CranKy Ducklings. I want to say like a couple of weeks ago at this point, but did join us. And Enki has been organizing some show matches in in StarCraft Evolution and in StarCraft 2 as well. This was from a couple of days ago. We weren't able to cast it live. Unfortunately, at the time, we were casting something else. Like, we were already casting another event, so much casting. But we were casting another event at the time, so we couldn't cover this live. But now we're here a couple of days later to jump on in. And again, you just experienced some StarCraft Evolution. This is going to be some of the best ZVP you can get in StarCraft Evolution. SHIN is the #1 Zerg player in SE Evo. Meanwhile, Classic is top 2 Protoss. Top 2 is second only to Hero, and even then, they both have their strengths and weaknesses, so you don't get better than that. And a best of 9 is crazy. Best of 9s are so rare nowadays, but for show matches, we can make it happen. We can make it happen. Vetoes are non-existent. All maps will be played, and we'll be jumping in. We'll be jumping into game number 1. Game 1 is on Blue Storm. Let's go. Let's go, papi. Let's go. As we just wrapped up on Blue Storm. True. Or I should say, second last game of the finals. But here we go. We're jumping in to our ZVP, and spawning in the right-hand corner of Blue Storm, we have our South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss, the SE2 Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brood War Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is SHIN. Here we go. Now, best of 9 has commenced. Oh boy, and best of 9s, they can go the distance, baby. They can go the distance here. We'll see how aggressive, we'll see how intense our players are going to be. Again, welcome on to Blue Storm. We do have a gate expand setup, but Blue Storm is one of the smaller maps in that pool. Short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored on this map. Fun fact, the last 2 games that we saw in Blue Storm, we saw nothing but all-ins. We saw nothing but all-ins. This was the map where Kiwian did bunker rush Spirit. There's also the map where we saw 3 points go for the 1.5 base all-in. Roach rush against Kiwian as well. So we do often see all-ins here. We'll see if that trend continues. As for the time being, hatch first. Hatch first out of SHIN. Likewise, gate expand setup here from Classic, or even gate cyber expand. Does poke in to confirm. So we're calming down. Again, when it comes to Blue Storm, it isn't just a short rush distance. So we have a very narrow choke point coming in towards the natural. Likewise, we have these rocks we can knock down as well. The third base is more exposed, so we might actually be able to embrace that. So far in today's broadcast, we've seen a lot of shorter games on Blue Storm. I'm hoping to sink our teeth into the mid-game here. We'll see. Por favor, papi, por favor. Give us some mid-game. Give us. Speaking of, SHIN takes the third. SHIN does claim a third base. Spinning towards the left-hand side. Does take that third. Behind this, again, just going hatch gas pool into a third. Settling in. The third bases are typically taken faster here when it comes to Brood War Zerg, just because you have no queens, so you have to spend your money somewhere, and you have to keep up with your production. You have to keep up with your larva. So it is more common to get faster expansions and to get more macro hatcheries as well. Ling speed is on the way. We can see SHIN, he stays in gas. He stays in gas. So this should be either for a fast lair to go into Ling into Muta play, or for a fast Hydra den to go into Ling Hydra. Again, Hydras are hatch based here, or the hatch tech I should say, in Brood War. As Hydras, their role is multi-purpose. You know, they have to be more well-rounded, just because there's no Roach, so they have to take the role of the Roach as well as a more robust core unit. Meanwhile, it is going to be a Stargate opener. Okay, so Stargate opener out of Classic. Everything's looking normal so far from the side of Classic. Just gate expand into Cybercore, into the Stargate, into most likely Oracle. Meanwhile, there's that Hydrogen fully walling off, actually. Okay, does completely wall off the natural. Interesting. With this tech. And as it does, it rotates towards the left-hand side. Looking for a way in. Lings have been amassing. And SHIN is now droning. I did invest quite heavily into these Zerglings, and Zergling speed is about to finish up. He wants that Adept. He wants him. Link speed does complete, and he should get this around. Oh my god. Adept does slip away, but it will not escape. Nice clean up there from SHIN. Does rally. As he moves out, we do see Classic setting up defensively here, throwing down extra gateways. Oracle's on the way. Nice SimCity here. Again, Classic, he also fully walls off with the pylon, so walls up with the pylon, and a very nice SimCity here as well, does wall off this location as well. A bit of a more awkward wall, but because of the ramp coming down, this is a low ground natural, by the way. Like, this is so rare, but a low ground natural, we have the high ground right next to it. Because of that, we have to wall up further back and make use of the Nexus. So really nice SimCity here from Classic, as you cannot wall up this ramp. Spore is done. Oracle is deflected. We have Hydra speed on the way, plus on range as well. The drone cannon is still getting there. Again, SHIN did invest quite heavily into these Zerglings. It's building up his drone counts. Meanwhile, Void Ray behind this. Void Ray into a Twilight Council. I don't see a Forge. This could be charge. Do we go into charge or Glaive Adepts? What's it going to be? Stasis goes off. We have the answer, charge. So charge on the way. The reason why I assumed it was going to be charge is because this is on 2 bases. There's no third, there's no expansion, there's no forge either for upgrades. Oh, Lings, they get us around. That should not have happened. They get us around, they take down 1 Adept. They get 1, and they get a Zelda's ult. Not quite. They have to respect the Oracle. The Oracle has arrived. Lings, they back off. Behind this, Hydras are amassing. Third base getting saturated. We're still droning up. Still saturating. And Classic going to 2 base, charge lot Archon. Oh boy. Now, this is not getting all in. It's quite committed here on 2 bases. We're getting up to, what, 6 gates? Yeah, 6 gateway setup. But Classic is expanding. If we were going all in, we'd get up to 8 gateways. But he will take that third. A later expansion for Classic. And SHIN so far just enjoying himself back at home. Baits out another stasis. Building up his drones, working towards that lair. Now, when it comes to lair tech, that does give access to lurkers. So we should be seeing a Ling Hydra lurker here out of SHIN. And ideally lining that up to defend against the storm timing. And I could be mistaken, but I think this is the most standard game that we've seen tonight. Like, we've seen a lot of aggression and a lot of all-ins during the Kung Fu Cup. But here between SHIN and Classic, like, we're not afraid of the mid-game. Not at all. It's a very different kind of change of pace here, which I appreciate. I mean, sure, we had some macro games on some island maps, true, but that was a little bit different. Meanwhile, Void Ray goes down. Lurkers are being researched. So we have lurker research on the way. And again, this lurker timing is so crucial to survive against Storm. Storm is done. Storm is complete. Classic soon to be pushing out. It's a miracle. Well, it comes down to the player's playstyle. Like 3-point, I say, like, in my mind, I mean, I say this all the time, 3-point is like the cheesiest Zerg player in South Korea. 100%. Like, you don't get cheesier than 3 points. So we often see a lot of all-ins when he's involved. Here we go. Storm is done. Classic pushing forward. Lurkers aren't ready. Uh-oh, these are late lurkers. Yeah, late lurkers here from SHIN. Every second counts. Storm is coming in. I mean, nice, very nice SimCity. Oh my god. Yeah, the hatcheries, they create a choke point. Zealous, they cannot engage. Yeah, very nice setup here from SHIN. Lurkers, they do morph in, and SHIN holds. Yeah, SHIN, he does hold. Scuttling in. Remember, lurker range is just shorter, like lurker attack range. It's much shorter here for Brood War. And a Classic rushing into Sky Toss. Let's go. I mean, just like you would against SC2. Sees lurkers, is like, okay, you can take control of the ground, I'll take control of the skies. Oh, the force field! Oh my god, the force field locks him in! Yeah, brutal force field. Ay, shit, what are we doing here? Not like this, losing every single Hydra. Oh my god, Hydras, they might not be light units, but he gets completely locked down. And a very nice cleanup here from Classic. Oh god. That was brutal, Pappy. Ay. And Classic, he takes the fight. And remember, SkyToss is coming. SkyToss is on the way. Not like this. There was no way out for SHIN. No way out. Lunker's moving forward. As SHIN, he has to commit. He's going for it. Classic's gonna up this around. Oh, diving on the High Templar. Gets one. One High Templar goes out. Nice snipe. Gets one. Forces out an Archon. Yeah, better engagement here for SHIN. Lurker's knocking down the front door. At the same time, Zealous, they do hit across the map. SHIN racing back home. Does race home to defend. And we'll clean this up. And SHIN, he's holding. At the same time, Classic, he just ignores the main army. He just sends it. He just goes straight here for the mineral lines. And again, we need more lurkers. We need more of a ground army here. Hydras are coming from behind. They will snipe the Prism. Nice snipe there from SHIN. Lurkers still pushing forward. The Tempests are revealed. And now SHIN knows. Now SHIN, for the first time, he's now aware of the SkyToss. He's aware of the Tempest. Now we have the Spire on the way. Again, reactively here to what he's seen. And the Tempest kind of still relatively low. Hydras, they still can hold their own. Oh no! Ah, but the Lurkers are being thrown away. Yeah, losing 5 Lurkers. Hydras moving in. There's only one storm. No storms! Oh wait, they're coming in. Storms are coming in. They zone back the Hydras. SHIN, he can still try to overwhelm. Oh god. But the storms do zone away. SHIN rotating over. He gets caught out. And Classic, he's just running, he's just getting out of hand. He's getting out of control. He's on full 3-way saturation, getting a 4th behind this. Still has another storm. And SHIN just cannot engage. Not anymore. Again, that was just a brutal catch earlier. He's lost 40 Hydras. That's 40 Hydras so far. Crazy. SHIN coming in from behind. Attempting to surround. A better angle here for SHIN. But there's still storms. There's still storms. Very nice control by Classic. Does pull away. Does pivot around. SHIN going for Overlord speed. Interesting. Might be getting ready for drop lords, but GG gets called too far behind. SHIN, he does tap out, and Classic takes game number 1. Whew, GG. A very intense game here. Again, we had a back and forth. SHIN was holding his own. I love the opener. I love the initial defense against the initial storm timing. But then he got caught out. Then he got caught out in the center of the map. The force field was brutal. He got locked down, and he lost so many Hydras. He let out 40 Hydras throughout the course of that early to mid game. And from there, Classic just snowballed out of control. Just snowballed out of control, dominated that fight. GG. And with that, got away with SkyToss. And Classic does take a lead in the series. Does take a lead. That leads us here into, we go from one of the smallest maps into one of the largest maps. This is also one of the things that's really unforgiving, is that on Blue Storm, if you take a bad fight, everything can just snowball out of control because how small the map is. Here, we're loading into Maganatha, the largest map in the map pool. Let's go. Let us go. So here, would you favor longer macro games? We could even see something like a Spire-based opener as well. Something like a faster lair. But now though, we're spawning in, and spawning in the top left-hand corner here of Maganatha, we have our Brood War Protoss player. Let's go. We have our Brood War Protoss. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 1-0. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the SC2 Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing team Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is SHIN. Go. So players are settling in. And on a larger map, we'll see how Classic does approach this. Now, Classic, if you're unfamiliar, especially in DVP, he is so willing to go into SkyToss. I mean, we saw that last game. Like, hey, he sees lurkers, bam, Fleet Beacon. Like, he is so willing to go into SkyToss and embrace that kind of late game army. I mean, we saw that. We saw him kind of showcase that against Serral, you know, at DreamHack Dallas. We saw him showcase that against Rogue as well. I mean, a little bit less, just because Rogue was so committed, so all in GSL. And just in general, like, he's very much so willing to embrace that kind of late game scenario. Gate expand out of Classic. And we'll see if he's willing to do so here with Brood War as well. We will see. this would be the map for it. Brutal Skytoss does hit different, of course, like there's no Tempest, for example, but Mass Carrier can be terrifying. Mass Carrier Corsair. Corsairs, for those that maybe don't remember, Corsairs, yes, they are built as the anti-air supportive unit, that's true, but they also have Blinding Clouds, or they have Disruption Webs. Disruption Webs are the almost brutal equivalent to Blinding Cloud in their own way, which can be amazing when it comes to supporting the army against a ground-based composition. Disruption Webs, they can be crazy. But I'm getting ahead of myself. For now, Robo Opener into Reaver drop. So Robo into Bay, into Shuttle, into Reaver harass across the map. That's what we're expecting here at a Classic. It's a very common opener in PvZ. Very common opener. SHIN, Hatch Gas Pull into a third, just droning, just saturating. He does skip his second queen in favor of a hatchery, so SHIN is cutting some corners, being a little bit greedier here by cutting a queen. But I feel like greed is the name of the game on Maganatha. Pulls out of gas. Pulls out of gas, droning up. Here we go. As I mentioned with a Robo Opener, yep, there's the Bay, into Shuttle, into Reaver drop. Now, SHIN, I'm sure he's played against this plenty of times. He can assume that this is the opener, but he still has to confirm, right? Like, it's not uncommon to see like a Stargate opener or even a faster Citadel into earlier Zealot legs. I know that Classic is very fond of that on smaller maps, not on larger ones, but on smaller ones. I would imagine at some point in the series we'll see like faster Zealot legs and faster Zealot speed out of Classic. But for now, going for the drop. Shuttle is on the way. SHIN is not droning. Wow, SHIN, he's going for the all-in. He's not droning. He's going for a massive Link Flood. Ay, ay, ay. The shield battery is done. The Zealot will hold its own. But Lings are going for the building, going for the Cybercore. Cybercore is exposed. And SHIN, we spoke about a longer game on Maganatha. Nah, SHIN, he wants to end it early here. He's going for the Cybercore. The Cybercore will fall. Cannon does finish. Cybercore goes down. Reaver's on the way. And can he break down that wall? Can he bust in? Going for the gateway. Gateway's under fire. That Zealot is tanking so much. The Zealot's holding its own. But the shield battery's running out of energy. It's running out. So many Zerglings are going down. Reaver has arrived. And Classic holds. Yeah, Classic, he holds. The Link Flood is not successful. Does not break through. Oof, brutal shot goes up. Shuts down the Zerglings. And SHIN, he is miles behind. He has such a weak economy. There's barely any drones. 22 against 36. Again, he made so many Zerglings and he did not break that wall again. If he had to save the shield battery, the Zealot held strong. And here comes the drop. Here comes the counterattack. Meanwhile, SHIN, he's still committed. He's still all in. Oh, I say all in. He's droning up, but he still has all these Zerglings to work with. Scarab shot's going up. Gets a queen. Takes down a queen, going for the middle line. Oof. Need one drone. From here, can go for the Zerglings. Up! 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 Doesn't connect. Yo, the Jukes avoids a Scarab shot. Up! Yeah, better connection. Much better here towards the end. Oh, God. Yeah, better connections. Again, for those that are curious, the Scarab shot is an actual, like, is a physical thing. And it does, like, chase. It does follow pathing. Oh, God. These connections are brutal. Oh God. Takes out all the Zerglings. Ay, ay, ay. Initially, it was a good defense, but SHIN stacks. He stacks up too much against the Reaver shots. And with that, SHIN gets shut down. That was how many? That was 60 Zerglings falling. Look at the efficiency here. 60 Zerglings, 1 Queen, 1 Overlord, 4 drones for what? For 1 Zealot, 1 Gateway, and 1 Cybercore. He's killed 1 Zealot, man. Yeah. That's insane efficiency here from Classic. And again, Classic has had the better economy the entire time, working into a massive Gateway explosion, getting into Mass Dragoon, and going into Dragoon range. Reavers are coming back in. Oh no! Okay, nice reaction. That does peel off. Does peel off his units. Another Queen goes down. Going for another Queen. There's 36 kills. Oh God, 39. 39 kills on that one Reaver. Oh god. Morling's falling. The shuttle does take a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. Dragoons there rallying across the map. I mean, Classic, he knows. He knows how close he is to just overwhelming SHIN. So he gets another queen. And another. Oh god, god, no, the drones are stacking. 7 drone kills. Takes down even more. Roaches are piling him, but GG gets called in. Classic, he overwhelms. He shuts down SHIN, and Classic takes a 2-0 lead. Whew, GG. Classic, he extends his lead here again. SHIN, he himself chose to go for the all-in. He went for a Ling Flood, went for the all-in, but alas, he did no damage. As we pointed out, that Ling Flood killed 1 Zealot, 1 Gateway, 1 Cybercore for 60 Zerglings. that was insane. So the Ling Flood just could not break the defensive setup there of Classic. Classic, he did have the wherewithal to go for a earlier Forge and to go for a safety shield battery as well. So he had a cannon, he had a shield battery, he was perfectly safe and sound. He was able to wall up as well, and the Reaver drop just got out of hand. GG. GG, well played. Oh, Classic popping off early on here. He does pop off. Does take the 2-0 lead, and now we're getting into game number 3. Classic is a pretty good unit. He's pretty good. It's pretty good. So is SHIN, though. So is SHIN. Again, it was SHIN's failed all-in that did snowball out of control, but now here we go. We're loading into Sylphid for game number 3 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Sylphid. Oh, going for Brood War Protoss once again. I mean, I say going for Epic Brood War Protoss once again, as I believe it is loser's pick. Just bear that in mind. We have representing Team Virtus Pro. It is Classic, leading the series 2-0, and spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Weibo Gaming WBG. It is SHIN. SHIN having a rocky start to the series, but as a reminder, best of 9. Best of 9. Best of 9. So plenty of games ahead of us, plenty more games to come. Classic scouts, and Classic, he finds him. He does find SHIN immediately. As a reminder, this is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom right, bottom left, and top side as well. So 3 possible spawn locations, and Classic finds SHIN, and he will block the expansion. Does force the unnatural natural. So already SHIN having an uncomfortable start to the series. Already getting uncomfortable. We can see Classic checking the triangular third location, and from here should check the linear third location as well. Or just going in, checking for the pull timing. It is going to be a standard pull timing, so again, hatch, gas, pull, standard opener here out of SHIN, just a bit of a delayed start. And back at home, gate, expand into Cybercore. Now, Classic last game did go for a Disruptor drop. Sorry, I keep saying Disruptor drop. Reaver drop. He did go for a Reaver drop opener. But if you recall, I did bring up the fact that Classic is very fond of going for early Zealot legs on smaller maps. This does count as a smaller map, so we'll see if he goes for a Robo into another Reaver drop, or if he goes into a Citadel into fast Zealot legs, into Zealot aggression. If that was the case though, I will say that typically Classic does make early Zealots, so he does skip it. So looks like he's not going into the Citadel. Waiting for the Cybercore, should be for the Robo. Yeah, Robo opener. So the same opener here for Classic, just going for the Robo. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see him mix in something like a Stargate opener at some point, but not for now. Not here in game 3. Just going for the Robo, getting a safety Zealot. The Overlord does scout. SHIN, he's aware. SHIN, he sees everything here. He's fully aware of the Robo. He's fully aware of the Reaver drop that's coming. And we expect SHIN to have a stronger defense this time, as he most likely will not go for a Ling Flood. He will not go for the Ling Flood. It's going to be on SHIN to keep up with that Robo, with that shuttle. With his queens. Now it's droning and saturating. This time it does get his earlier queen setup. Here comes a shuttle and the bay into Reaver drop. Again, same opener as game 2. As Maganatha. It's the same opener. Same build. This time Classic, he even gets a safety shield battery as well. So safety shield battery. also appreciate the custom shield battery here as well. As I mentioned before, like, even though we're in the same engine, even if we use the same units, or same buildings, same structures, we have like custom like assets here. For the zealots, for the shield battery, for the pylon as well, if you notice, pylon is different. The assimilator is also different as well. Like, they're all custom. Just to make sure that you can distinguish one Protoss from the other, as they are very different in how they play. Very different. Or one race from the other. As like, Brutal Zerg and SC2 Zerg are like the same in name only. Same with like Brutal Protoss and SC2 Protoss. And of course Terran and Terran as well. They work very differently. Oh, okay. So we have the initial Reaver drop, which is standard, and we have a faster +1 air attack and Stargate rushing into Skytoss. This is not standard. There we go, second Stargate's on the way. Classic being very greedy here. Oh, meanwhile, Shuttle does take a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. Shuttle, oh my god, barely pulls away. And this time a much stronger, much cleaner defense here from SHIN, as the Shuttle barely survives. And this time, no economic damage. This time, no massive connection on the Zerglings. Again, SHIN is much more secure here. And a big reason for this is because, remember, one of the reasons why the Reaver drop did so much damage last game was because SHIN went for a failed all-in. They went for a failed all-in. But not this time. This time he's... Oh. This time he's macroing, he's droning, getting more queens. Shot goes off. He wants the queen. Does get it. Oh no! Does get a surround. Nice punish here. Nice pickup. Shuttle was zoned away. And with that, we trade a queen for a Reaver. Better trade for SHIN. Much better trade here for our Zerg player. Behind this has been droning, saturating, does have the greater economy, now working towards Link Bane. Lair is on the way. And, oh my god, brutal shot. Shot goes off. Reaver does defend. Up! Reaver does defend. And behind this, going into Mass Corsair. And the Overlord does confirm. SHIN, he's fully aware what's happening. Does scout to the Corsairs that are building up. This is so risky. Classic, we shouldn't be here. The shuttle! Oh god, get out of here. The shuttle is so very low. 6 HP. Oh god. Shot goes off, does get a tumor. Classic barely gets away, playing with fire here. Meanwhile, SHIN going into Ling Hydra. Going to a Ling Hydra based composition to help deal with the Corsairs. Fleet Beacon's on the way to eventually switch into Skytoss, into Carrier. We mentioned at the start of the series, I should say we mentioned that in Maganatha, how Classic he is one that's willing to embrace Skytoss more than others, and to rush into it as quickly as possible. And he's getting there. Meanwhile, as he moves out, Lings are moving in, there's nothing to defend. There's a cannon. Okay, there's a cannon, there's a Zealot. Shoot gets surrounded, sorry, 2 Zealots even. Classic turns back around. And he will defend. He will zone away. But again, SHIN's just buying time. Once again, just buying time. Takes out another Zealot. Oh my god. Through connections. Connections on the Zerglings. Meanwhile, again, just buying time for more Hydras. Hydras are amassing. Fleet Beacon is done. Destruction Web is on the way. Hydras are spotted. And we're just going for the all-in. Yeah, we're going for the all-in. We're cutting workers here at 65. That is 3-base saturation. No 4th base. No drones. Just purely 3-base all-in by SHIN. He's going for it. Does send it across the map. The Queens, they're trying to get involved. The Reaver shots are brutal. But the Queens are moving in. The Queens are moving in. Again, still just letting more Lings and more Hydras. Hydra speed is not yet done. Nice Reaver shots here on the Hydras. Hydras are going down, but we're running out of Reaver shots. Running out of Scarabs, I should say. Running out of Scarabs here. And the Corsairs do nothing. The Corsairs, they do nothing. They can't. It's just dead supply. Yeah, dead supply with the Corsairs. Destruction Web is almost done, but even then, it doesn't do damage. Base goes down. And Classy just a little bit too greedy here. Just too greedy. Like, this is the only defensive units here, the Reavers. They're the only things. Destruction Webs on the Hydras. But it's not enough. The mass webs, let's go. Yeah, Lings, they don't care about your webs. They take down the Reavers nonetheless. They bust in. We're just throwing down just a field of destruction webs. Let's go. That's all we can do. And again, for this curious, destruction web is kind of like blinding cloud. It's like blinding cloud. It means that the Hydras do no damage. If they're in them, they can't attack. If they slip out, then they can. And Hydras, they just step in. There's now one Reaver. One Reaver has arrived. Hydras, they bust through. And they will overwhelm. And GG gets called in. ClanKy just being too greedy, rushing into Corsair, which did nothing for the defense. And SHIN will fight back. We'll put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played with that. SHIN, he will take the initial game here. We'll fight back. Again, a very intense back and forth. We did have ClanKy just, again, being a little bit too greedy, rushing into the mass Corsair, which did nothing in the defense. Destruction Web eventually finished, but that was after the base was broken. That was after the army had fallen. By then, it was too late. It was too late, too little too late with that. GG, well played. SHIN, he does begin his comeback, and we'll see if he can tie things up, or if ClanKy can get back that momentum, as we're going to be loading into Holy World. Let's go. They have a newer pylon model in 1.16.2. Oh, there you go. There you go. And that's coming soon, TM. Soon, TM. Smurge, baby, smurge. But really cool to hear. Really cool to hear. As we are getting to our next game and spawning in the top left-hand corner. Top left-hand corner here of Holy World, we have our now StarCraft 2 Protoss player. We have the Orange Protoss leading the series 2-1. And we'll see if we can extend that series here. Representing Virtus Pro, it is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the teal Zerg player, we have the South Korean Zerg, the Brood War Zerg. Representing Weibo Gaming, WBG, it is SHIN. And welcome one and all to Holy World. Holy World is a 4-player spawn map. We can spawn in bottom left, bottom right, top right, and top left as well. 4 possible spawn locations. And we do see that Classic does find SHIN immediately. Does find him. SHIN going for the pocket expansion that is natural. Interesting. I mean, he has to. My apologies. Of course, he has to because of the pylon block. So forced to expand elsewhere. Overlord is moving in, and SHIN will eventually find Classic as well. So they do find each other. As we have our initial 2-gate open out of Classic. Oh, 2-gate into Mass Zealot. We spoke about this in the last game and on Magnath as well, how there is a build that Classic does enjoy going for, where he goes into Fast Zealot legs. And this is a part of it. So double gateway opener, 2-gate opener into Mass Slow Lot. So I would imagine Zealot's going to be on the horizon to rally across the map. Going for a delayed expansion. Waiting for the Nexus. Is on the way. It's also possible that Classic, he may have just seen the lack of expansion and may have just, you know, overreacted a little bit here by going for the faster 2-gate setup, but regardless, can be aggressive with this. Oh, right, what am I... God. SC2 Protoss. Oh, God. My apologies. In my brain, he was Brood War Protoss. That's why I was talking about the fast cell legs. No, it's 2-gate opener, double adept. It's SC2 Protoss, of course. I gotta look in, Bat. I gotta look in. They just keep switching races. God damn it. Alright, so double adept opener. With this, we can, of course, 2-shot drones. So this is a much more aggressive start here by Classic. Going 2-gate into double adept into a 3rd and 4th adept as well. And this can get out of hand. We'll see if SHIN can keep up. Behind this is going into a fast sunken colony here in the mineral line. Does, of course, scout the opener. He saw the 2-gate, so he's aware. He knows. So SHIN is fully aware. Getting ready in the mineral line. Colony is done. 1 drone goes down, but only 1. Boa noite, papi. Ah. Fala galera, papi. Fala galera. Good to see you. Good to see you. Gracias, gracias. As adepts, they do poke in. We have more adepts on the way. Just rallying even more and going for a Twilight Council. Are we going to Glaives? Classic with non-stop adept aggression. Link speed does kick in, and we get a surround. Yeah, nice surround here from SHIN. He does punish. Getting 1, 2, 3 adepts. Can he get all 4? He can. And he will. Massive pick up. Takes out all the adepts behind this, going for the fast lair, taking gases, and what looks to be muta play. Looks like he's rushing into Spire for the first time this series. Lings, they move out, they contain the Protoss. And Classic, what did he see? He did not get eyes on the lair. He's not aware. He's not aware what's going on. Behind this, hey, we brought up Zealot Legs. Let's go. I wasn't reading this opener if it's SC2 as Zealot Leg, as charge, but sure. Working towards charge. Meanwhile, the Spire has been thrown down. Now, the question becomes, who hits first? Right? This charge timing or muta play? Like, mutas are still a ways off. Going into the Dark Shrine, actually. Okay. Interesting. So, with Dark Templar, we can, of course, morph in some Archons as well. We can support with Archons. As we're still lacking that Gateway Explosion, just now working on a 3rd and 4th Gateway. Still a very low Gateway count. I feel like SHIN, he should get away with this. He's going to be fine. Yeah, he's walling up. More colonies are going to be finishing. Spire is almost complete. Spire is almost ready. He's almost ready here. Classic moving out. Working on the Templar Archives. No Dark Templar yet. Again, here come those mutas. For those that are curious, there are neutral disruption webs in the center of the map. They can impact some fights. And mutas can shut this down. SHIN is ready. He's ready. He's waiting. Remember, he saw everything as he has that Overlord just getting free vision. SHIN, he fully walls up. He has a full wall. And he's just reinforcing that wall as well. More colonies. And here come the mutas. And mutas are racing across the map back at home. What do we have? Do we have any anti-air? The answer is no. 0 anti-air. There's one Stalker. There's one Stalker. There we go. Warping in 3. 3 Stalkers do warp in. Zealous busting down that wall. They take down the first colony. They get 1. They get 2. They get all 3. Jesus. Oh my god. The Zealous is so tanky. Jesus. They bust down the wall. They're pushing into the mineral line. Lings are going down. Music across the map. They do get some damage. Probes are falling. Gets a couple of probe kills. Does take down those Stalkers. But Zealous break through. He had to get into the mineral line. Oh, they are distracted. Colony is going to finish. Oh, never mind. Colony is denied. That's going to be a kill. But SHIN, he barely does hold on. Barely does defend. Now we have a late reaction here, going into double Stargate. Going into Phoenixes. Meanwhile, SHIN going muta into Scourge. I mean, hey, that'll help. Scourge on the way. Archon is going to be just focused on... Oh. Never mind. Shield Battery, not bad. Shield Battery does keep the Archon alive. And Classic is holding. Classic is holding on. I say that means they bust into the natural. They get 4 more probe kills. Still very clutch, still very intense. Supplies are still neck and neck, but yeah, we're getting into 8 probes. 8, 9, 10 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. This is now getting out of hand. Scourge are rallying in. Scourge, they're the Banelings of the sky. Ah. So clean up these pylons. Phoenixes, of course, they can micro against Scourge and against mutas, but there's that much more of a punishment if they do mess up. Scourge can be terrifying. And it's a way to bully back those Phoenixes. Speaking of... Oh! Does try to go for the dive. Scourge are targeted. We have more Scourge on the way. Oh! Almost catching a Phoenix. Phoenix taking a massive volley. And more Scourge filing in. Again, it's just a way to zone back those Phoenixes and potentially get a connection. More Scourge has arrived. Whoa. Behind this, SHIN is expanding. Getting to Hydras. Ooh, one Scourge does connect. Almost. Not good. Again, not the worst trades here from SHIN. Bearing in mind that, of course, the Brutal Muta does have one extra range than the StarCraft 2 Muta. So they are more of a threat to the Phoenixes. Phoenix still does outrange, but not as much. Oh. Gets one. Gets one. And again, SHIN's done with Mutas. He's going into Mass Hydra instead. Building up his Hydras back at home. The goal here is to hope that maybe Classic overcommits into Phoenixes, and that's what's happening here. We have a lot of Phoenixes on the way, and what's the ground army? Where's the Storm? There is no Storm. There are Archons, there's some Stalkers, but there's no Blink, there's no Storm. Right now, Classic is hyper-fixated on Mass Muta, or on Mass Phoenix. And this will catch him off guard. This should catch him off guard. As the Hydras are amassing. The army is 11 Phoenixes and 1 Archon. 6 Stalkers. Remember, no Blink. Phoenix moving in. Gonna be zoned away. Hydras are revealed. Now he knows. And instantly Storm. Again, Storm is so late. Storm just now begins. And now is the time. SHIN, he can hit, he can strike before Storm completes. He's moving out. And now he's moving out. Muta's here behind the mineral line. Classic getting pulled apart. Probes are going to be going down. Again, Storm is still barely halfway done. The Mutants are going to be thrown away. But it doesn't matter. Not anymore. It's all about the Mass Hydra. And he's stuttering in. Does have a step forward. Takes down the wall. Again, there's what? There's 2 Archons. Storm is almost done. True. Storm is almost complete. Classic needs a little bit more time. There's 1 High Templar with the army. Storm is done in 8 seconds. Down to 2. Storm is done. Oh, has hold on to it. Storm does crazy army. You have another Storm in the chamber. It doesn't connect. High Templar goes down, and that's too much. Yeah, that should be too much here. Hydras, they overwhelmed. They shut down all the Phoenixes. They shut down the ground army. GG gets called, and SHIN ties up the series 2-2. We have a back and forth. Whew, let's go. GG, well played again. The Classic, he was just hyper fixated on the Mutas. He just went Mass Phoenix. His ground army was lacking. Late Storm. No other support either. No extra Archons. No charge. No Blink. No nothing. Or no charge lots. And with that, GG. GG, well played. The Mass Hydra did catch Classic with his pants down. The pants were down. The pants were down. And that leads us into Game 5. And oh boy, Game 5 is going to be an interesting one here. We've been here a couple times already here tonight during today's broadcast. Up next, we're going to be loading into Neo Isles of Siren. You know what that is? The island map. Let's go. We're loading into the island map once again. And last time we were here in the PvZ, we were featuring Scarlet and Rebellion. And again, that was Scarlet's first time on Neo Isles of Siren. SHIN, he's well versed. He's well versed here with this map. And we'll see how he does approach. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Neo Isles of Siren, we have our South Green Protoss player. We have the Orange Protoss, the SC2 Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Teal Zerg player. We have the Brutal Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is SHIN. Go. There we go as well. Welcome one and all to Neo Isles of Siren. Once again, I keep missing the pings that I meant to show the locations. But welcome one and all to a 4-player spawn map. We can spawn in bottom left, bottom right, top right, and top left. You have to mine through your main base to gain access to the natural, and on top of that, this is an island map as well. There are 4 islands, sorry, there are 5 islands, there are 4 quadrants. You can spawn in with your own island here at bottom left. You have your natural, you have your 3rd base, you have your 4th base as well, but you're completely isolated from the rest of the map here due to this thin river that does slice the map into those 4 quadrants. On top of that, we also have the center island as well, which can of course impact the game, especially in a longer game state with extra gases, with extra minerals as well. So we do have that center base. Meanwhile, we do have a SHIN going hatch before pool, so very greedy start here by SHIN. Meanwhile, Classic going gate expand here out of Classic into a Cybercore. Now, when it comes to SC2 Protoss, we have seen them be quite diverse here. We could rush into Skytoss, true. You can rush into Stargate, into Fleet Beacon, into Skytoss, or you could go into Blink Stalker. If you remember, Rebellion went for an all-in. He went for a Blink Stalker all-in, a 3-base all-in against Scarlet, which did catch her off guard. Again, because this river is so thin, because the space between the 2 islands is so short as well, you can blink. You can blink from one side to the other, so you can be aggressive with a ground arm with blink harass instead. You can also harass with charge lots, specifically with a warp prism, right? With a warp prism, you can warp in, you can drop, you can still be active in a multitude of ways here as SC2 Protoss. Meanwhile, Stargate opener. We have the answer here. Going Stargate, not Twilight Council. Meanwhile, SHIN does find his opponent, does find Classic. Classic also finds SHIN. Seeing the Overlord this quickly can only mean one thing. It did not come from the right, and it did not come diagonally either. So Classic should be more or less aware of the location of SHIN. As SHIN is playing Hydra. Interesting. I mean, it makes sense. You have to open up Hydra initially to defend against Oracle Harass. Otherwise, you're stuck with Spores, and you're just going to get bullied. Like, rushing into Muta and rushing into Spire is not as viable defensively early on. So Hydra makes sense. Does open Hydra. Meanwhile, Phoenix opener out of Classic. SHIN is aware. And this could be Phoenix into another Stargate, into Skytoss, or we can go Phoenix into a Twilight Council. So Classic has options as he's hunting down the Overlords. Spores are on the way. So is that a lair. Hydra Den is done. But the Spores should keep SHIN safe. Keep him safe. Investing into Hydra upgrades. Of course, when it comes to the Zerg side of things, Nidus Worms are different for Brood War. If you remember, I believe you can only morph in a Nidus Worm on creep. So you cannot Nidus to another base unless there's already creep there. Unless there's already an expansion. But Drop Lords are more accessible. If you recall, in Brood War, and even originally in StarCraft 2 as well, when you do research Ventral Sacks, it allows all the Overlords to become Drop Lords instead of just individually. Meanwhile, Phoenixes, they do find another Overlord. Just barely. Overlord goes down. Overlord speed is on the way. Tells us most likely we are working towards Ventral Sacks, but we'll keep an eye on SHIN. I mean, yeah, he's getting to what's on range. He's getting to range upgrades. Lair is now done. And this is going to be Skytoss. There we go. Second Stargate's on the way. Now, working towards Drop Lords here, I mean, it can work amazingly or it can be shut down, right? It comes down to Classic being able to keep an eye and a handle on all these Overlords to make sure they don't get across the map. Assuming there's going to be Drop Lord play, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on SHIN. Yeah, there it is. Ventral Sacks. Ventral Sacks are being researched. And SHIN is going to go for the Doom Drop. And again, if he can unload his mass Hydra onto the island, he can pop off. But that's only if he can get past the Phoenixes, right? Like, these are the gatekeepers. They're just containing SHIN and denying any kind of Drop Lord play. Can it sit past? Hydra range is being researched. Phoenixes are being zoned back. Ooh, does get a Hydra. There we saw SHIN out of position. Losing another. Yeah, 2 Hydras going down. Losing a 3rd Hydra. Massive pickoff. Every Hydra counts. Oh, they're speedy boys. And here it comes. Here comes the Drop Lords. Here comes the all-in. Remember, SHIN is on a very low drone count. 38 workers. It's all or nothing for SHIN. And Classic behind this is working on a gateway army, but he's not there yet. Looking at the units tab here, it is purely Phoenix. So pure Phoenix out of Classic. He has charge on the way, he has gateways on the way, but right now he has 0 units on the ground, and here comes the all-in. And Classic, he does spot it. He does spot it, he's aware. And he can maybe focus on 1. Nah, not even. Doesn't focus on the Drop Lords. They do unload. They're going further in. Oh. Forced to unload. A little bit chaotic here. 1 Drop Lord goes down, he gets 1. Up. He does get the other, barely not. Barely does not get them. The Hydras, they do unload, and now there's nothing. There's nothing to defend. There's slow lots. Slow lots are moving in. Phoenixes, they're holding their own. Shield batteries are done. Does focus on the Drop Lords. Again, it's a very close hold. And remember, SHIN cannot reinforce this. And it looks like he defends. It looks like Classic does defend. Takes down all the Hydras. Again, barely holding on. Pulling the boys as well. Running out of energy. There's 1 Hydra left. And only 1. Only 1 Hydra. And again, the problem who we're trying to go for these all-ins is that reinforcements take so long. But actually, is this enough? There's no energy. Yeah, there's no lifts. There's no more lifts. Hydras, they come in just barely in time. They go for the mineral line. Oh! Do you have another lift? Just barely. Yeah, just barely does lift up. Barely warps in. And Classic holds. Classic holds. And again, the Drop Lords have to race back, reload, then come back over. You can't just rally. No with Hydras. And SHIN is falling behind. SHIN, he's falling behind here. Classic with a greater economy. And now he's got his gateways. Now he's got Storm almost done. And now he has a ground army. Earlier he didn't. Like, that was the win condition for SHIN, to kill Classic before Storm, before charge. He failed to do so. SHIN failed to do so. Will lose the mineral line. Does get eyes on Drop Lords once again. Catching out more of those Drop Lords. SHIN trying to find another way in. Does skirt around the right hand side. Once again gets caught out. Forced to unload. He's catching more of these Drop Lords. I guess just Overlord. I guess that's why. Don't know if there's much reason to distinguish between them. Yeah, Overlord's getting caught out. GG gets called as a High Templar gets spotted, and Classic, he will take a lead in the series. 3-2. GG. GG, well played. Whew, again, it was a cheeky build here by SHIN, but we saw like its limitations. The biggest one, of course, is that you can't rally. Like, reinforcing that all-in is so difficult because you have to pull back with your overlords, or just have more overlords, load them up, and then reinforce. Like, it takes that much longer. It takes that much more APM, that much more attention to try to reinforce that kind of all-in, because you're stuck on your own island. And alas, in the end, was not able to pull it off. In the end, he was barely shut down. It was still close, still a close defense, a clutch hold there, but Classic does take it. And with that, Classic takes a lead. And we'll see if SHIN can tie us up once again as we are loading into Pylon. Let's go. We are loading into Pylon. And SHIN is going to be embracing StarCraft 2 Zerg this time. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Broodor Protoss representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 3-2. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the StarCraft 2 Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is SHIN. Go. Hello, SHIN. As it does move out with a hatch block. Does skirt around the left-hand side, moving in for that block here at the natural. Does look to move in. It does move in, does block. Will delay. Meanwhile, Classic opening up with a Forge. Oh, I mean, okay. Sorry, I didn't quite notice. Classic opening up with a Cannon Rush. Did go for a Forge base opener. Does go for the cannon. Again, this was before the hatchery was even revealed. The Forge is done. And now we're in a weird game state. Because ideally SHIN wanted to expand, but the expansion is denied. Forced to throw down a late spawning pool. Forced to throw down the pool. Trying to expand elsewhere, but he shouldn't be able to. And yeah, we're settling in. Okay. So Classic's base is denied, and so is SHIN. Like SHIN, he also can't expand. He's gonna expand towards the left-hand side instead. Cannon is complete. And there's the natural. There's the expansion. Classic, he will scout. And he could try to cannon rush this. But the pull is almost done. The pull is almost done. Yeah, he does confirm. Does confirm. From here, the game will continue. Game does continue. Wings are in production. Queen as well. Classic can now expand. And we can just calm down. We can calm down. We can settle in. Again, when a Zerg player goes for the hatch block like that, it is not to go all in. It is just to delay the expansion. I say that. Ooh, we can see SHIN. He's trying to force a reaction here. Trying to force out cannons and pylons. So hatchery into the main. Of course, Classic is aware. He is fully aware. Yep, there's that defensive cannon. So this is the most damage that SHIN can achieve with this, right? Is that he forces out a pylon and a cannon. So damage is being done. Behind this, SHIN is droning. SHIN is saturating. We'll see if SHIN finishes this. I don't think he should. I don't think he can achieve much with the queen and with some Zerglings. He should just drone and cancel. There we go. Yep, he waits for the cannon, then cancels. So again, SHIN is just trying to force inefficiencies here out of Classic and trying to force an overreaction. So pylon, cannon. From here, Classic working towards his Reaver drop. And SHIN is droning. It's droning on up. When it comes to Classic's build, it is late, just because of all the twists and turns, and because of the early game, it is a little bit delayed here. But it's still on the way. It's getting there. So Overlord is hunted down. Classic does pull back. And here comes the drop. Oh, was that a new icon? No, this is the Scarab upgrade, of course. But I did see an icon that I wasn't too familiar with. Was that the new icon for shuttle speed? The shuttle does pull away. So if I just waiting for the Reaver, there it is. Reaver has arrived. Is moving out. So if our SHIN, he has some decent creep spread. Pushing towards the halfway marker across the map. And we walk into Pylon. Pylon is a very small map. So the creep is spreading. Scarab shot going up. Thanks for Zerglings. Not bad. Not a bad connection. We even actually connected with the creep tumor as well. Tumor goes down, catching out a queen. Oof, oh my god. That was brutal. Jesus. That was 11 Zerglings. 11 Zerglings did go down behind this massive gateway explosion. Getting into Mass Dragoon. And the Reaver does lead the charge. Oh. Oof. Once again, picking up more Zerglings. So far, 19 Zerglings going down. Shuttle does take a lot of damage. you can see Classic is rallying. He's trying to rally across. This is quite risky here just because he has no support yet. The gateway is just now coming online. Classic is going for a 2-base all-in. Bear that in mind. The shuttle! Up! The shuttle does go down. Massive pickoff. Again, he flew too close to the sun, and he will lose everything here. Yeah, Lings, they collapse in. Oh my god. Going for the Reaver. The Reaver should not escape. Another Reaver comes into support. And Classic, he's getting caught out. He's getting caught out here. Brutal losses. Losing one of the Reavers. Losing the Dragoon. Will he lose another? The Reaver, he's waddling back home. He's getting there. Oh god. The hand is slowly dragging him forward. Slowly. Oof. As things, they catch us around, they catch another one of these Reavers. And Classic just bleeding out far too much. Expensive losses here for Classic. And this all-in has been delayed. It's a delayed all-in at this point. Yes, it's going to be a 2-base 8k all-in. But he already lost 2 Reavers and the shuttle. And he's still committed behind the SHIN, getting to his own Ling Hydra. He's got a solid economy. Just under 3 bases. Just under 3 base economy. Ling's collapsing in. Ooh, Reaver shot goes off. Brutal connection. Not bad. Yeah, the Reaver shots have been insane. Oh my god. But despite that, it's still just too much. Yeah, it's still just too much Zerg. Queens collapse in. Hydras as well. Zerglings, they do what they can. Oh god. I say that. Classic. I mean, he still has momentum. He still has that one Reaver. Boys are being pulled. I mean, again, the Zerglings, they just haven't been able to mass up. Have not been able to. Reaver shot on the Queens. And Classic, he might have too much here. Yeah, Classic takes down the Queens one after the other. And again, Zerglings are ideal to surround this, but every time they come in, they just get shut down by the Reaver. Speaking of, yeah, another shot goes off. Brutal connection. It's still quite close. The Reaver finally goes down. And again, it's a messy defense here for SHIN. Zelsay push forward. Barely not enough. Another Reaver has arrived. Jesus. The Reaver's back. He's back. Yeah, Reaver shot goes off. But this time, nowhere near enough. SHIN is barely holding. The Prism. Oh, the shuttle goes down. The Reaver as well. Now just Dragoons. Yeah, only Dragoons remaining. SHIN stutter steps in. Takes down the final Dragoon. I say that's still rallying in. The rally's still insane. SHIN has to back off. Famiri pulls away. What's scary is he had to pull the boys. Remember, he lost every drone at the third. SHIN no longer has a greater economy. He had it, but not anymore. Not anymore. He lost all the workers in that defense. So Classic can still pull this off. Still pull this off. He just needs that Reaver. He needs the Reaver. Fighting with the shield battery. Reaver has arrived. Still a very tense game. That's increased Reaver capacity. Oh, you mean the icon that I saw earlier? Okay. I almost never see it, I'll be honest. I almost never. Actually, I think I've never seen that upgrade before. Research, or at least I haven't noticed it. Yeah, shuttle speed now on the way. I mean, Classic didn't research it either. As we have the scarab shots going off. Lings collapsing in. Yeah, they collapse in, they lock down the Dragoons. Nice snipe there on the Reaver. It's still close though. We're still running out of the Zerglings. The third base is on the way. Yeah, SHIN, he cannot allow the third to get up and running. I think the icon changed after the 1.15 patch was already out. Okay, there you go. Fair enough. Yeah, the base is denied. And I think SHIN's done it. SHIN, he's finally done it. Again, it was a very, very intense game. And we saw SHIN just taking so many Reaver shots to the face. at least earlier. But now Stutter steps in, breaks the wall, voids are being pulled, depowers the gateways, or depowers the below ground, I should say. Does depower. And SHIN redroned. He had the room here to redrone, resaturate. He's got it back up and running. He has the economy. He has the production. Whew. He's got it, man. He's got it. The review is broken, so OP. I wouldn't say that. At least not in StarCraft Evolution. I'm not too certain about balance in Brood War, but again, the Reaver is very mobile, very mobile. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of time in between Reaver shots as well, and of course you have micro potential. The reason why this game is as close as it was is because SHIN was taking all the Reaver shots to the face at the start of the game. Like, he took everything to the face. Oh, as the prism goes down. So SHIN, he did have some miscontrol earlier against the Reaver, or just some less than ideal engagements. But it's been a while since we've seen a juicy connection. And SHIN has since recovered. Yeah, as again, Classic is just at his team. He's got the one Reaver to hold the line. Bailey's are bunching up. A nice, very nice move there by SHIN. It does split, does avoid the Reaver shots. And with that, he will overwhelm. He will overwhelm the army. GG gets called, and SHIN ties up the series 3-3. The back and forth continues. GG. GG, well played. We are tied up 3-3. We're going to game 7. Let's go. We're going to game 7 here again. That was a very intense all-in out of Classic. Bearing in mind, because this map is so small, because Pylon is so small, that's where this all-in hits even harder, because even though the Reaver is so slow as a unit, you saw it didn't take long at all for it to actually reinforce by just crawling across the map to the main army, to the main fight. Like, again, the small map there did come into play, did allow Classic to almost break SHIN, despite SHIN's defensive setup there. Like everything was set up beautifully to defend, but he had a bit of miscontrol against the Reaver shots, against the Scarab shots. He lost so many Zerglings. GG. GG, well played. In the end, SHIN, he brought it back. Barely brought it back. And with that, we're going to game 7. We're going all the way to game 7. Game 7 is going to be on Purity and Industry. Oh boy. Meanwhile, shout out to Garlic Beats in the chat. Gap. I mean, God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 9 months in a row. That's a lot of months back. That's a lot of months. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it as we're getting into game 7. Bearing in mind, this is still not the final game. It's a best of 9 and not a best of 7. We still have more games to come. Oh boy. As spawning in the bottom, or on the right side here of Purity and Industry, the south side, we have the StarCraft 2 Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Brood War Zerg representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is SHIN. Here we go. Very chaotic game. Very chaotic game on Pylon. Now we can calm things down. SHIN can expand. Can settle in. Can lock in. Right, we can lock in. But welcome one and all to Purity and Industry. Again, it is one of the older StarCraft 2 maps in the map. Well, I say older. In my mind, it's a modern map. I guess because it's in like the most recent era of StarCraft, like the EPT era from a couple of years ago. I believe Purity and Industry was in the map pool back in 2021-ish. 2020, 2021. Again, one of the more modern maps. It has been revamped, of course. It's been revamped for StarCraft Evolution. Some of the slow zones have been removed. We still have the island, of course. Still have the island, top right. And I believe rocks were removed and bases were changed. And it's just some other adaptations here. I'll be honest, we don't really see much mid to late game on Purity and Industry. The map is, I mean, it feels quite small, feels quite short, but we'll see. We'll see how our players will approach this. Now, hatch gas full into a macro hatch for SHIN. And we'll see how SHIN will approach this. Again, because of all these slow zones, Mutaplay is going to be a little bit more deterred. So we may just embrace Ling into Hydra into Lurker. Meanwhile, Stargate open out of Classic. Never mind. Does still open Stargate. Stargate into Oracle. Into, I would imagine, a standard opener. Shinny does stay in gas. Stays in gas. We're leading towards Hydras. Shin gonna be spinning towards Classic. Does take that low ground expansion. It can be quite difficult to maintain this base as well. So we'll see if we can hold on. Yep, there's that Hydra is on the way. And I believe this should be lined up in such a way where Hydra's will out just in time to defend against the Oracles. It's gonna be close. Yeah, the Oracle's on the way. Oracle's on the way. We'll see if this is lined up. Oh. That does escape. Hydra is almost complete. Is almost ready. Meanwhile, the Oracle's rallied across them towards the main. Remember, there's going to be no spores. Where are the Hydras? Hydra is done. And Shin is droning. Shin, he's droning. He hasn't seen the tech of choice. Now he sees the Oracle. Spores now going to be on the way. But these are late. These are late spores. The Oracle does get in. Drones are going down, getting 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, God. Yeah, this is becoming critical damage. Getting it to 5, 6, 7 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. My hands are in my head. I wasn't even looking. It's a 13! That's game ending. That's game ending damage here. 15 drones going down. That is critical damage. There's not even a spore in the main. The Oracle just runs out of energy. It's just tuck it out. It's like, I can't eat anymore. It's too much. The Oracle with 15 drone kills. And we can keep going, by the way. There we go. The spores, they do now finish. 16 drones going down. And again, it does seem like Shin just assumed it wasn't going to be a Stargate. I think he just assumed that he was going to go for another take of choice because of the slow zones. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be safe, but he gets punished for it. He gets punished so hard. Oracles, they can focus on the Hydras. They get 1, they get 2. GG gets called. Game-ending damage, and Classic, he will take a 4-3 lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Shin, he's like, you're an animal. There are slow zones, Bob. He's like, yeah, so what? I'ma still go for Oracle. I'ma still kill you. Oh, no. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. So again, Shin, he assumed he was safe. He assumed that he was secure, but alas, again, no spore, no Hydras. He was still droning up. He was punished by the Oracles. GG. And with that, we're getting into our next game. We'll see if Shin can force the ace match. We'll see if we can force a game 9, or if Classic can bring it back. As we are loading into one of my favorite maps in the map pool, we're loading into Troy. I love Troy. I don't know what it is about it, but I appreciate it. Let's go. Here we go. Those games feel so bad to lose. I mean, the issue with a game like that is that you just, there's just nothing you can do. Like, you just, like, as in if you mess up like that, if you slip up like that, you're just dead. Like, it's it's like you don't even get to play some StarCraft, man. You don't even get to play some StarCraft. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Troy, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro, representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. 1 game away from claiming the series and spawning in the bottom right hand corner. We have the purple Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg, the SC2 Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is Shin. I still haven't seen the icons. Am I blind? Avex? Am I just missing them? I mean, I still haven't seen like the pings to show us the spawn locations. Am I crazy? Cannon Rush, by the way. Am I just missing them? But here we go. Here we go. As the Cannon Rush is upon us. Overlord does scouts. Cannons are going to be soon on the way. Don't know works short terms. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think it does, because I keep trying to keep my eye out for them and I don't see them. I've been trying to switch the player's vision as well for that. But regardless, the first cannon's on the way, is going to finish. That probe is fully walled in. the probe is fully locked in. But we have more cannons being thrown down. And SHIN, he's trying to hold on to at least his main base. We do have the spawning pool on the way. This cannon rush will continue. SHIN expanding elsewhere. Gets a cancel. And behind this, Classic expands. Okay. So he's not doubling down. He's not going for like a proxy robo into like proxy reaver or something crazy like that. It's just a cannon rush to force a cancel. And from here, Classic will expand. He might even cannon rush once again. He can. Yeah, he can go for a second cannon rush. He can go for it. Meanwhile, we have one base roach on the way from SHIN. We'll see if Classic tries to disrupt this. Yeah, he's thinking about it. Backs off. Does back off. Does pull away. Ducklings, they do barely slip by. And again, SHIN, he's doubling down. Gases have been taken, and roaches are on the way. We can morph into Ravagers. Eventually, SHIN, he will break out of his contain. Eventually. Until then, Classic looking secure. Yo, is there a world where you cannon rush forward from here and you get within range of the gas geysers and then you kill the gas geysers? No shot. I feel like that would have been possible. That would have been crazy. I don't know how long it would take to kill in a simulator with cannons. That'd be disgusting. Would be disgusting. So I think it's that good at this time just because you have the pocket island as your main. True, there is this island. This is like pseudo like island base to take. I mean, it will take a long time for a Zerg player to take this expansion, but sure. Solaire is on the way. Like, we have seen players contained on this 2-base setup. Like, we have seen players just stuck on 2 bases here while they're just contained. And while their opponent just max expands and just takes every other base. But here we go, we're going for the Nidus all in as we try to break out. As Ravagers are trying to deal with this, but oh my, no, within range, and the cannon kills 2 Ravagers. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there by SHIN. That should not have happened. The cannon rush continues. It still maintains its position. And we have that many less Ravagers to work with. Back at home, Classic is secure. He's got a cannon here at the natural. Nidus into the main. Let's go. Going for the Nidus. So let's go for the Nidus. Boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. They will try to focus this down. Lings, they do pop out, but the Nidus is going to fall. Yeah, just barely. Yeah, no roaches, no Ravagers. Dragoon does move over. That's going to be 9 probes going down. That's a lot of economic damage. But Classic still ahead. Classic still has the greater economy. And Classic, he will shut this down. Guess it's over the backup Nidus. Once again does fall. There's only a handful of units here. Oh, at the same time, only 1 Dragoon. True. But the cannons do finish. Classic does maintain the main. Takes down the Queen. Yeah, takes down the Queen. Takes down the Roach as well. There's just not enough here. Oh, now we have the shuttle. We can micro. We can control. Up. Speaking of, nice juggling. Nice control. Reaver has arrived, and we've seen this before. Lings, get out of here. Oof, decent pile. Takes down 1. Yeah, Scout Truck going up. Takes down the Ravager, and with that, Classic, he holds, he shuts down the all-in. There's a handful of Zerglings left. We have 2-base Spire on the way. He's crazy. Going into 2-base Muta. But remember, Classic still has a superior economy. He's got 29 probes. And that cannon is still there, by the way. It's still there. Still being so annoying. And GG gets called. The all-in fails. And Classic, he will take the series 5-3. And he will be this month's Enki Epic Series champion. GG. GG, well played. Classic with the cannon rush. Again, just a really shaky defense there from SHIN to be able to try to break out and deal with said cannon rush. He did devote quite a lot to it. Didn't quite pull it off in the end. Likewise, really nice control there by Classic, of course, to set up the cannons in the main. He had cannons in the main base as well to help defend. 2 cannons in the main, 1 cannon at the natural. He was able to pull the boys in time, focus down the Nidus in time as well. GG. GG, well played. Very nice last second defense there from Classic. And with that, Classic does claim the win. Congratulations here to Classic, flexing both with SE2 and with Brood War Protoss as well. GG, well played. Are these games live? These games are a couple of days old. They're a couple of days old. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cast it live just because we were doing another cast at the time. We were having another broadcast, so we weren't able to cover this live. This was from, I want to say Friday, around Friday-ish. A couple of days ago. Well, actually, I have the date here, the 14th. So, yeah, the 14th of June. So it was from the last weekend. But yes, GG, well played. Congratulations to Classic. Shout out to SHIN. He was able to hold his own, and we had some spicy games as well out of SHIN. I'm still thinking about game 1, of course, between SHIN and Classic, the game on Blue Storm, where we had Storm pop off. Like, that was a crazy game. that was a crazy setup there by Classic, locking the army down and storming everything. It was insane. Regardless, GG, well played. Classic does claim it. Shout out to SHIN for making a series out of this, for bringing us all the way to game 8. I was hoping for a game 9, regardless of how this went, but I'm satisfied. Satisfied nonetheless. And shout out to Enki, of course. Enki, he is el hermoso. He is, of course, one of the fellow CranKy Ducklings. He does casts in Spanish, and he does host and run these tournaments in Spanish as well. Every month he does host these show matches, and we should be seeing another Enki Pro Series show match soon TM as well. And we'll do our best to cast it live. Like, sometimes, like, our schedule is just a little bit too busy and we aren't able to cover it. But we'll do our best to try to catch up with Enki's matches live whenever we can. Otherwise, GG, well played. With that, we are almost done with today's broadcast. It's been intense. It's been 5 hours of non-stop StarCraft Evolution. We do have 1 match left. Before I get ahead of myself, though, if you want to help support those working behind the scenes at Team Caprulu, !SC in the chat, we do have SC Evo. We do have the Patreon for... Oh. There we go. Yeah, the Patreon for StarCraft Evolution, again, those do work, those behind the scenes do put in a lot of work when it comes to the graphical assets, when it comes to the patches, when it comes to porting maps as well, so you can help support the team via Patreon, those working on StarCraft Evolution. So, GG, well played. With that, we have 1 cast left here. No tournaments, that'd be too much for me, Pappy. I'd like to get some breakfast at some point today, but we had a viewer redeem a replay. I do apologize for said viewer. Did redeem the replay a couple of days ago, so thank you so much for redeeming that replay. And we were going to be jumping in. I don't know what to expect, I'll be honest. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm stepping into here, but we do have a viewer replay ahead of us as well. So with that, if you're only here for pro gameplay and pro StarCraft, our next broadcast should be tomorrow. Just quickly catching up on our schedule here. We just wrapped up with our early morning Friday cast, and tomorrow we're going to be live with the LATAM League finals will be taking place tomorrow, so that's going to be Saturday morning. And we have the esports World Cup global qualifiers. You can see them there, 11 p.m. KST. That's going to be midnight AEST. The global qualifiers are right around the corner here. Those are the last chances for players to actually make it into the esports World Cup. That's going to be, of course, in StarCraft 2 proper. We have the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. That's an offline event as well. That's going to be happening Sunday morning. And we have Sparkling Tunic Cup as well. So we have a very jam-packed schedule over the weekend. As always, Pappy, plenty of content over the weekend. LATAM League, Esports World Cup, Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, Tunic Cup, and more Esports World Cup as well. How do I buy a button? A button shirt for live. Why do you want me to button up, Pappy? Oh my god. You're an animal, Pappy. You're an animal. Este Flapjack. But yes, we do have a very busy weekend ahead of us here. We have no broadcast later on tonight, so only one broadcast today. That's why we're making a little bit of a longer one, but we are going to be busy elsewhere. I believe tonight is going to be the Thermal 2v2 last chance qualifier for his 2v2 circuit, and we'll be adminning. We won't be casting it live. I'm going to be there adminning it live, making sure that everything runs smoothly, making sure that everything runs as it should. So I'm going to be adminning that tournament. That's going to be at midnight. That's going to be at midnight my time here. That's going to be in around 9 hours. In 9 hours time, I'll try to sleep before adminning that event, but again, that's going to be over the weekend or later on tonight. Otherwise, we still have that one replay to cover. Let's go. Oh boy. That one match to go. So we're going to be going on a very short break here. We're going to be going on a short break. I do need a moment to set everything up, and then once everything is ready to go, we'll be jumping into our viewer replay cast. Again, so far, just one. If you're in the chat, if you want us to cover one of your replays, there is a point redemption. You know, you can redeem your grapes, you can redeem your Twitch points, and I think it's 10k. I think it's 10,000 points to redeem a replay. And if you do so, we'll be covering it. Sometimes we cover like 2v2s or team game matches or FFAs or 1v1 ladder games. Again, you can have us cast your matches. So that's going to be coming up next after the short break. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, consider following us and checking us out over on YouTube. Socials in the chat, and you get a link to our YouTube, our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all things CranKy Ducklings, as we do stream and we upload on YouTube on a daily basis. That's where all the VOD content is. Otherwise, we'll see you guys soon after the break. Time to you're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. I'll see you soon after the break. When we come back, we'll have one more cast, one more game to go. See you soon after the break.